Thanks, Sterling, for choosing to come on and talk a little bit about your experience today. I really appreciate it,
Of
everyone.
course, I'm honored to do so. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Daniel Moskowitz. I help superhero entrepreneurs gain a new superpower, and that's sales. And Sterling Miles, amazing copywriter, the blog whisperer extraordinaire, joining me today to talk a little bit about his experience in the Superhero Sales Academy. So again, thanks so much, Sterling, for choosing to spend some time with me today. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Again, it's an honor to do so for sure.
So what I want to do is just take more of a classic case study approach, and I often talk a little bit about this in the Superhero Sales Academy. I talk a little bit about this in my social media stuff. So now I'm going to practice what I preach. So here we go. So let's talk a little bit about, for me, what was sales like for you before we started working together.
Easy answer, non-existent. So to be quite honest, I think as much as beforehand, I don't know how far back you want me to go. So my background is a lot from, I worked as a journalist at times for certain publications when I lived in Portland, Oregon, worked for, and then pretty much got a lot of my copywriting training when I worked in the agency world, in the creative agency world, and I was also tasked with also being a social media manager as well. So when I ended up kind of just breaking off to doing my own services, it was difficult. It was actually like turbulent transition is kind of an understatement. So honestly. And there would be I'll give you a couple of examples, experiences that I had. So I created this website that I was really excited about, but there was just a lack of clarity in my mission. There was nothing. I just I'm a social media brand manager, and then and I kind of had that approach, even though I would help other people not to do this. I would be doing this myself, where it'd be I created this thing. Why aren't people coming to me?
It's often the case, right? When someone leaves the stability of something full time and
yes.
they go to make their own thing, like their own business, they tend to go one direction where they think it might be the thing, but it might be incongruent with where you should be going. But anyway,
completely.
What you actually teach others to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly, and that was kind of the disconnect, and I wasn't following. You mentioned practicing what you preach, honestly. So to be honest, once I had to come to this realization that I was using this old system. I was using somebody else's voice. I was using somebody else's structure. I was using what worked for this agency that I worked for isn't working for me. And that's the lack of clarity. So I was expecting people to come to me, and I had this really pretty website, and I had all these bells and whistles, and this all-encompassing work. I could do so much for a client. And another example, though, and this really came about, my wife and I were at this coffee shop, this really cool place down the street, and we were talking to this the coffee shop owner, and he's just oh, what do you do? And I had in my card, and I stumbled over my words, and I could not tell him what I did. And when we walked out, I'm just my wife was actually just I think we should just figure out what do you do? Let me what do you? I'm just I kind of have all these pieces, but and so it's in a lot of even everyday conversation. So to kind of long story short, my sales process was non-existent because I didn't know exactly what I was offering. I knew what I wanted to offer, but I didn't know how to do it in my own way, what I was good at.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to communicate it effectively to people.
When you encountered sales situations, how did it make you feel?
Oh, nervous. Super. Well, just I approached it not feeling super confident. I mean, I felt to go personal, I felt as if I was projecting. I was projecting just this is what I do. But I think I would go into it on very shaky ground for sure.
And what was how much success did you have?
Oh, none. I mean, I think I had a couple people through loose connections from here and there, and it would be honestly probably one inquiry through the site, through probably once every 3 months.
Okay.
One. And
I appreciate you being honest. Yeah.
Oh, totally. And on like, so I'll tell you, during also that time, I was applying social media practices. I was just like doing all like, I'm going to post this much. I'm going to write on the blog. I'm going to like put all this emphasis on Instagram, these likes. And so all my energy was going toward creating a social media presence, and it just wasn't getting anywhere. So
all right. So in walks the Superhero Sales Academy.
and yeah.
So before we talk about results, obviously, because the results have been impressive and actually been the envy of others on in the community. So let's talk a little bit about what it's been like through the process of going through the lessons and going through everything from the sales blueprint to the process. Just talk a little bit about what's it been like going through everything. And
it's been, I don't mean to use such cliche terms, but it's been a complete light switch. I mean, going through the process has been from throwing darts in the dark, seeing what's like, oh, will this work? Will this work? Will this work? And I'm missing the target. And I mean, to actually just like, oh, like shining a light, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going for, so I know my targets. So I think that through the sales blueprint process, there are things that I've learned throughout this process of organization. It's helped me with clarity, not only, and like it's been complete night and day. So going through this process it gave me the structure to really thrive. And not only did it give me the structure to thrive, it gave me the support, and kind of something I just really believe in. Like your approach, I have to hand it to you. Like your approach is very infectious. It's very, if you give a shit, I mean, if you care, like people will come to you, and I really think it's being engaged. It's being, it's using personal, and I think to be honest, it's like, it's all about building up healthy personal practices to really help yourself thrive in a professional practice. So specifically blueprints, creating, our mission statements and our offer to serve. It really is boiled down to bringing that clarity to actually like see momentum build, because I would just like, oh sweet, I got a sale, and things would be blips. But having an actual offer to serve is this continuous process that really you can start seeing it, and it only gets more refined and stronger.
With clarity comes clients, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And so before we move on, tell me a little bit about what's it been like week on week, as each lesson drops every week, when we come together as a group in our group discussions. Talk to me a little bit about the week on week, just so people can get a bit of a sense as to what they're in for. Week on week,
it's been having a weekly meeting, like having a weekly check-in, and kind of and classes and kind of new knowledge bombs being dropped. It's something that I look forward to. It starts off my week really well, and it's something that I kind of it's that support. And if honestly, like there will be a week where it's just like something's not clicking. I thought I had so much momentum, and I'm experiencing a dip. I can having those weekly check-ins kind of are amazing reminders that the world keeps going. Like you got to keep going, and I think. It's easy to, especially as being in freelance, and it can be a very lonely place. It can be very, by having that support, you realize that A, you're not alone, but B, it's just like, it's a continuous thing, and you're going to keep going, and you're going to keep, the processes are great. Like they're lined up, they're structurally, with each piece of information builds on another. So it's like when we talk about, CRMs, so it's just like, and actually I have to say, as I progressed and moved, and was kind of like growing, the information that was provided in the weekly academy was like perfectly timed. So it's like, oh my God, I'm actually getting like more client inquiries. Oh my God. Now like then new panic sets in, then new challenges come in, and you're just like, I haven't had this problem before. I haven't had this like quote unquote problem before. What do I do? And then like, boom, like you come in and you're just like, I have some information about you about organizing clients in the CRM system. So it's just like, oh my God, thank you. It just sequentially just like, almost in a linear way. Like you kind of just like, things
How
move.
I designed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
great.
glad that's how it's been received. So
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're going through every week, you're building your business. I mean, I think in a way you're stopping being a freelancer now and you're building a business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of forcing everyone out of that mindset of if they were a freelancer, they're coming into now running a business, right?
Yeah.
It's really putting your big boy pants on, big girl pants on, and just running things on a professional level that allows you to have repeatable success, really.
Mm-hmm.
So now thinking about success, as I said before, you've been the envy of others. So talk a little bit about the momentum you've built, the success, the arrow pointing that has happened, as you've come on those group sessions, you've hit road bumps, how we've been able to pave over those speed bumps.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
So
talk a little bit about your success, about your results, the results.
So as I mentioned before, I would just it would be just like this, this anomaly that I would get like an inquiry through the site, and there was like through no rhyme or reason. I had no idea how people found me, but like once every 3 months, and it would just be this like one-off thing. I'd get so excited, and then it would dip, and then I'd just like once again throwing darts in the dark. But after it was literally night and day after I started the academy and started really applying and doing outreach with my offer to serve, I was getting right off the bat 1 to 2 inquiries a day. They were coming in, they were coming through like they were just, and it was all in how I approached people. So I used to just say like, I'm a copywriter, hire me. Like, you're going to be so impressed, hire me. And it wasn't working. But once I tweaked actually, like, what am I actually giving? What am I serving? And how am I like, even, and once I reapproached it being just like, I'm not a better writer than you. I'm just helping you save time. I immediately got responses back. I spoke to people's experiences instead of just coming to the conversation with something, what can you give me, rather just like, here's what I can give you. So once that I'm
just so proud of you. Like it's like I have pride in hearing you talk, because it's like you're feeding back everything that I've been pouring into the academy, and this is like my life's work. And to hear you feed it back, and of course, obviously getting that success. So sorry, keep going.
Oh no,
it warms my heart, right? So
no, and once you're in it and you're doing it, it just feels good, and you want to keep doing it. And I think again, what I was saying before was like, you build up personal relationships. You build up personal practices within yourself. You just have to learn. You can't go throughout your life just like, what can you give me? And because you just don't end up with fulfilling relationships, and the same goes for business. And I think that you can have sales and like reach out to people in a very authentic way and connections. So once I started actually doing that, I was starting to get responses back once to twice a day, and not only that, like emailing started to become just like the inbox. I always kept hearing like, it's like people would be like, oh, my inbox is packed. I'm just like, I've never had that problem. But now I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm starting to have like inbox issues. And just like, this is weird. So I'm responding, I'm getting on the phone with people, I'm setting up these Zoom calls, which have been amazing, and talking to people. And then, like I said, like the roadblocks that would come up, like, and they're good problems, but they were very real problems to me, where I would be just like, either just follow up. Like I would have clients, but then it would dip, and then I would then stress out about getting future clients, and then what we had talked about was just like the process of getting referrals. And it was, again, like once I reshifted that, I finished, for example, there's a photographer I did some work for, and I finished some work for her, and we were just talking. We set up the Zoom call. We're talking, and then I just asked her, just like what we talked about. It's like, my business really runs on referrals, and is there any way I can contribute? So, and from that conversation, she was just like, she added me to a Facebook group with her peers, her entrepreneurial peers, and then resubscribed to my services, which created another 3 months of me working with her. So not only did I keep a customer relationship going, I'm starting to branch out, but in a very authentic way where it wasn't just like, again, what can you give me? But it was more, I've helped you, I'm asking you for help. And but in a very reciprocal way. So I think like the power of asking for help, you come still blown away by that very simple practice.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So what has actually been, how many clients have you, we've been in the academy now for just only 2 months. How many new clients have you booked?
Like booked and actually working with, I landed seven clients that I've like ongoing. And not only are they clients that I'm working with, they're clients that are like subscription-based clients, which are like I'm working with them at least like 3 to 6 months ongoing. So
and that was another shift that we made within your business.
Yeah, it was another shift about just being one. Like if I like in our process of booking clients, I've probably worked with about like 11 or 12 clients, like one-off, but the 7 of those have been subscription-based clients, which has been, to me, has been just like, oh my God, like there's 7 clients that I get to work with for the next 3 months, you know? So, and then from that process, I'm confident with the process that I've been learning in the academy is like that, creating that consistency. Like after the 3 months, I'm confident they'll be able to expand out. So
amazing. Yeah. So how do you feel now about sales?
I feel really good. I feel, you know, it's the stigma has been dropped, and I feel like being sales isn't schmoozy. And I feel that like, conversations always lead to, you know, the conversion. I don't know. Just like, I feel just so much better about it. And honestly, in a weird, strange way, unapologetic. And I think that's the one word that sticks out to me right now as I think about it, is like unapologetic sales through conversation. And I think that's the thing.
It's simple, right? If you're activating gratitude in others, if you're actually helping them, then sales does not have to be something that you have to be feeling uneasy about, right? It's an easy thing because you're actually helping them.
Yeah.
And so what would you say to others who are maybe just thinking about whether or not they should join? What would you say to them?
Just from my basic experience, I think it's about getting over yourself. I think it's about
that's pretty direct.
Some of it, once I got over myself and realized that I wasn't my path of just like, people come to me, I'm so good at what I do, people will come to me. Once I got over that, I actually started seeing a lot of return. So I highly encourage taking, like, if you can, as a sales don't need to be slimy. And I think that once you kind of just like separate the two, sales, if you view sales as connection, like anything can be authentic. Like social media, for example, can be used in very destructive ways, very superficial ways, but social media can also be an incredible avenue for genuine connection. You can use any medium, and sales is a medium of communication. So I know I'm getting very philosophical, but I just speaking to somebody else, I would tell them you will, honestly, your business will change. Your business will grow and change from this experience.
Well, Stirling, thank you so much. It's like, you've gone all in. I'm very proud of you for that, and for taking every week and showing up and doing the work, and you've gotten the results, which is like, and they've been stellar. So I cannot wait for these next months as we close out the 12 months together. I cannot wait to see where your business goes and be along for the journey and the ride for it, and doing another one of these another 3 months from now and seeing where things are at, because it'll be actually comparing those two are going to be very interesting, a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for everything.
All right. Thanks so much again. And for those of you that want to learn a little bit more about the Superhero Sales Academy, go ahead and book a call with me. I'd be happy to, first of all, help you with your offer to serve and get that going for you so you can start using it within your business, but also then to talk a little bit about how the Superhero Sales Academy can help you in your business. So
do it today. Do it today.
Thanks again for joining me today, Stirling.
Good to be. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.